Everybody is ablaze right now. Everybody's wondering, what is really going on with Angel Reese? Has she just flat out quit again? Has she quit on the Chicago Sky? Angel, you got to be, hold on, you have to have some level of self-awareness.
Angel Reese is day-to-day again. But if you followed her career, you know what that really means. Last year, it was a season-ending...
Claiming a back injury basically since the All-Star break. And there's no details. Every day we hear that Angel Reese is day-to-day. And every week, there's no update on what she's struggling with, what she's doing. There's nothing. There's no information about Angel.
Angel Reese is day-to-day again. And fans could practically recite the script at this point. It's the same vague updates, the same disappearing act, and the same timing that just happens to line up when things aren't going great for Chicago.
Last season, she claimed her wrist was messed up, didn't finish playing in none of the games. Now, this year, she's saying this season, it's her back. It looked like she's not finishing playing in none of the games. The Sky needs you. The Chicago Sky, you guys are the gum on the bottom of the shoe of the league. They need Angel.
We've seen this movie before. Last year it was her wrist, supposedly a serious fracture, surgery that was framed as necessary to prevent arthritis before she even reached her mid-20s. And just like that, her season was over. No gradual comeback. No push to finish strong. Done.
Guy, everybody is speculating. What is this back injury? What's going on? Hey, are you trying to pretend like you hurt because Caitlin Clark really is?
Serious back injury. No clear timetable. No detailed explanation. Only that it crept up right in the middle of another rough stretch for the Sky. You can look at the schedule and literally see it play out. Big losses pile up. The pressure's on her to turn it around. And suddenly, she's not in uniform. She's not even on the bench. It's become almost predictable which week her status updates will turn into indefinite absence.
Basketball. I think she looks over at Caitlin Clark and says, hey, Caitlin Clark is out with a legitimate injury. I proved my point before the All-Star game when I went on a 10-game run trying to justify being on the All-Star team. When that first ballot came out, when the first voting results came out about the All-Star game and I was 13th, holy cow, Angel Reese panicked, started playing hard, tried to put up some stats to justify being on the All-Star team, did that. And now she said, hey, the Chicago Sky sucked.
The strangest part, she couldn't even be bothered to travel to Indianapolis for a game against the Fever, a matchup that's supposed to be one of the WNBA's biggest ticket sellers. This is the league's self-proclaimed ITG girl, skipping out on the hottest rivalry of the season. But rewind just a few weeks, and there she was in Indiana for the All-Star game.
I'm going to win anything this year. I'm not putting these L's on my resume. I'm going to have an excuse for the Chicago Sky potentially coming in with the worst or second worst record in the WNBA. These losses will not be on my resume.
Smiles, all cameras, and even staging a marketing stunt where she claimed she took over Caitlin Clark's trap. So, apparently the back holds up fine for attention grabbing, but not for facing Clark on the court. That's a pattern a lot of people are starting to notice.
To be honest, with Caitlin Clark for that Rookie of the Year. But once you realize your double streak was over, and it was over. She took over post-Olympic break. Once you realize it was done, you threw in the towel, said your wrist was hurting for the rest of the year. You threw in the towel and said your wrist was hurting for the rest of the year and didn't play again. This past the inaugural season of Unrivaled, you didn't even finish that season. You didn't even show up for the championship. No, not only did you not...
Starts. Is this about making sure her brand doesn't take another high-profile hit? Is it about protecting her numbers by avoiding the games where she'd be exposed? The conversations aren't flattering. Commentators are already hinting she's packed it in for the year again. Some are bluntly saying it. She's quit.
Let's get it! Burn! Lack of awareness combined with a lack of ability to jump. Not great! Burn!
Me bow, me bow, me bow, me bow, me bow, me bow, me bow.
Yeah! Again! Do it for me. Me bound!
2 seasons, 2 injuries, both arriving just when the narrative around her game is at its weakest, both conveniently wiping away the chance for anyone to see if she can weather a losing run and still contribute. When you stack those timelines side by side, it's hard not to see a strategy where others see bad luck. And here's where it gets even harder to defend.
3. Oh, what a sight for Alexi Hall. She has needed that one to drop.
Alexi Hall catching fire.
Now Chicago just needs to get it a little bit more settled here in the half court. Nurse loses it. Mitchell 2-on-1. It's a foot race. Mitchell to Cunningham.
And here's where it gets even harder to defend, because the minute she's out of the lineup, the guys start playing like an actual basketball team. That's when the story goes from suspicious to almost unbelievable.
Pancakes at Denny's. Butter? Did somebody say butter? Butter pecan! Burn! At a certain point, you just got to applaud greatness. A me-bound on her back? Are you kidding? Bang! Simon says, give me another pray-up. How about it? Bang! She really hit under the basket on a layup. Get this girl GPS. Bang! Everybody get up on your feet. It's time to meet and greet.
The Sky win-loss column doesn't line up with the way they market Angel Reese. For someone they push as the face of the franchise, the results tell another story. They actually have a better track record when she's out. It's not a tiny sample size either. The stretches without her are when they manage to string together wins and avoid the sloppy losses that keep them at the bottom of the standings. That's not a great look for a so-called cornerstone player.
Games where she re-aggravated, she originally injured, she had a comeback where it lasted 2 or 3 games, re-injured it. They've hinted at a time frame of late August that she may return.
You only have to look at what happened when Chicago faced Indiana without Caitlin Clark. Everyone thought the Fever would be vulnerable with their leader sidelined. Instead, Lexi Ho stepped in, dropped 17 points, finished with plus 22, and Indiana rolled past the Sky. That's the same Sky team that can't seem to figure out how to beat Indiana in any scenario this year. Even when Clark's sitting, Ho, Boston, Mitchell, Cunningham, they all clicked because they trusted the flow of the game. No one was forcing bad shots to justify a brand.
Her coach came out and said something about, she's just focused on her rehab right now and, she's day to day. We've never had an explanation on what caused the back injury, what's a time frame for her recovery. It's similar to so-and-so's back injury. This is something she struggled with here or there.
Chemistry isn't complicated. You either have players who make everyone better, or you have players who gum up the works. When Reese sits, the ball moves more freely, and the numbers back it up. Chicago's offense doesn't stall waiting for her to post up or crash the boards out of position, instead of repeated forced possessions.
Like, they're resilient, they're connected, they pull for each other, they enjoy one another, they celebrate one another, and that stuff alone is good for 10 to 12 points a game. And for this group, the way that they share the ball, how unselfish they are. I mean, I'm really proud of them. It's not been ideal circumstances all season long, but they've shown the character of who they are. They've been resilient. They've responded to adversity, and they continue to elevate one another. And I couldn't be more proud.
Classic addition by subtraction situation, and the irony is hard to ignore. Imagine removing your supposed best player and watching the overall energy improve. Analysts have pointed out the extra spacing and the uptick in pace when she's not on the floor. Even the bench seems more engaged. Coaches have hinted without coming right out and saying it that the team plays with more.
She just stopped. Some of these injuries, we saw the injuries. We didn't see what happened. What happened?
Urgency when every possession isn't being funneled through one ego.
That was one of the things that we made a priority in the off season of, who we bring into this organization. Number one, quality human beings, selfless human beings, that want to pull for one another, that understand. We have this depth for a reason, and sometimes it creates challenges getting people on the floor. But in situations like this is why you have it. And I'm just,
That's where the biggest hoax in WNBA history, label starts to stick. A real star makes you harder to beat, not easier. If your absence turns your team into a tougher opponent. The problem, Angel Reese disappears into another round of vague injury updates. Caitlin Clark keeps showing up, even dealing with a legitimate groin injury. She's still in the arena, still in uniform when possible, still locked in with her teammates, still spending time with the